Oh, here we go. Here we are. Now we're live, of course. And I don't have the video ready and popped up, so we'll have to get to that here. Here we go. Advanced video. And now we're live.
Watch the Fling Show live on YouTube Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Real deep. You can stand up there. Actually, it's not real deep. You can stand up there. How you gonna drown? I think I'm gonna see how far you can just bring it up on shore. All the way. Come to me. All the way. Come on. You can do it. Fast as you go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's it. That's kind of disappointing. Oh, shit.
Cut. Nemesis.
The bomb hit. We have gotten great treatments from John today. Oh, we got that wind bump. Travis pipes it. Get in the basket. Get in. Oh.
Fling Show. The Fling Show. Y'all wanna know about the mystery of flight? You wanna hear about the scene done right? So kill your TV and just come outside. We're gonna take you on a beautiful ride. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show. The Fling Show.
Oh, I'm enjoying that opening more and more. I'm telling you what. Good evening, folks. I'm Chris. We're about to bring on Hemi in just a second. Your host this evening on the Fling Show, episode 179. Getting so close to 200. We're going to have to do something special. Dave and I'll have to think about that. Can't put him on the spot right now. Hard to think that way after the day we had in this beautiful weather. And thank goodness down here in Texas, it is disc golf time. This is the most beautiful time to come down here and play. So got a couple of events right in these next couple of months. The first one is one of our last two PDGA B tier tournaments. As you can see, this is for the old folks, though. This is the Don't Call It Throwback Open. Shawshank, Texas, October the 28th. There is a little confusion. It does say on the PDGA website the 22nd. That is a lie. Been having to try to get that changed. It has not been changed yet, but go on Disc Golf Scene. You can sign up there. Only the elderly can play. 40s and above. We got 5 different divisions on both sides. Get yourself signed up. It's going to be blast out there at Shawshank in Huntsville, Texas. Love that course. It is a beautiful course. And then that leads us to the Southern Star Duo, PDGA B tier. This is going to be held at Little E. John Berg Park in Conroe, Texas, and McDade Park in Conroe, Texas. And guess what I got today? Oh my goodness. Are those things beautiful? Can you see the other one? Woo-wee. I don't even know if you can see that. You can't see that one. What's wrong with that? Oh, there they are. There they are. I'll have to get myself out of the blur so you can see them just a little bit better. But these things are gorgeous. There, you see that? Oh,
Yep.
my goodness. Good evening, Dave. Welcome to the show. How you doing this evening,
Hey.
sir?
What's happening, Chris?
Oh, man. I'm telling you
What are
I
those?
these. Okay, here. I'm going to give you the side view, and I want to see if you throw this. Do I need to get closer?
Mm-hmm. Ranger.
Texas Ranger Man, I love your daughter. Texas Ranger. That's a song by the Beef Masters out of Nacogdoches, Texas. Go check that song out. Texas Ranger Man. Very funny. Anyway, yes, they're the Rangers. And man, I mean, they are sweet, Hemi. You see that orange one right there? That's got my name all over it. You know, that's going to be in my bag right there.
Yeah.
Man, look at that stamp. What do you think about that stamp?
Oh man, they've come a long way. I think their artwork is up there, you know, among the tops. And definitely their process has come a long way in 3 years. You know, you remember, you think back to the early stamp stuff. And they just threw it together and kept going until they figured it out. And now they got it nailed down tight.
Right. It was the Bowie first and the Mad Cat second. So that Mad Cat had that stick figure, which I kind of love it because it's from Maddie of the daughter. But I do appreciate you on that artwork, Kimmy. That was actually mine. I actually did that one. So
Nice.
I appreciate the compliment on that. I've been working on it, but I do have to give Sinjin, they're out at Lone Star Disc as well, a shout out because he's been behind me the whole time. He's the one who does all the artwork out there as well, or he gets the artist to do the disc, and he's the one who makes the decisions on the artwork. So
Art
he does
director.
such a good job. Yeah, he's a good job. So that leads us into making sure that we give a shout out to our sponsors, Lone Star Disc. Hemi and I had the opportunity this morning to go out and play, and man, the weather was amazing. The course is in beautiful shape. They got really nice tee boxes, great baskets. I mean, you got water shots, you've got short shots over the water. I mean, it has something for everybody. And since they've marked it off with those OBs now, it's even got some teeth in it. So shout out to our sponsors, Lone Star Disc, Travis and Terry. As you can see, we got a little film on them today out there on the course as we played as well. But we really had a good time out there, as you can see. I should put my face over here so it just doubles up instead of just making me look like it's two of us. But what do you think about that course and the teeth they've kind of put into it now, Him?
Oh, that course sucks. I hate that course. First round, I hated it. I played a little better, but yeah, it's a good challenge. You know, and it's a good place to go and learn how to play position golf, you know, or I don't know how to describe it. It's a delicate little course. It's got water. I highly recommend go into the shop and spend a few bucks and get one of those sticky poles before you play the round, because you'll probably end up in there, and then get you a V2 or V1 and that float, and because that little pond is nasty, a little creek there. It's deep, but and you'll probably throw it in it. More than likely, you will throw it in the water. So
even with the great shot. I mean, I had a great
Yeah.
shot on that second one, and I thought I was just sitting right behind the basket a few feet. Next thing I know, I'm floating in the water. And just like you said, thank goodness for that V1, V2, because
Your shot of the day, though, you owned one hole. Can you think which one it was?
I'm pretty sure you're going to say hole 3, that upshot onto the rocks in
Upshot.
the raised basket.
It came out of nowhere. I was standing. It's a raised basket. It's got that little, it's an elevated basket. And I'm standing behind the basket, and I see this orange thing come flying over the top of the trees and land right next to the basket. I don't know how you did that. I mean, you're on the top tier right by the basket.
I heard Travis goes, "Oh, that's almost a leaner." So I was thinking I was just leaning against one of the steps on the bottom. I was like, man, I'm happy with that. And then walk up there, and it's actually on the top second tier sitting next to the basket.
I'm assuming you tomahawked that.
No, you know what's funny? I actually flicked that one.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought because it had a weird angle coming in. I didn't
Yeah, I
know
had to
what
flick
happened
it
there.
because of the angle, and I just
Okay.
didn't feel comfortable trying to get around that tree that much from where I was. So I just put that copperhead on a hyzer and just threw it really far out and up. And I said, well, I think as long as I don't go out of bounds, I should be okay. And so, yeah, I was quite impressive. I was pretty happy with that one today. That's for sure.
Yeah. Owned it.
Mm-hmm. How are you enjoying the weather, though? Is this not amazing?
That was great. I was cold this morning, or my early morning reservation. Felt a little chilled out and was loving it. Every time experiencing like the round we had today, just perfect weather. I just got to keep remembering those 30 days straight, 31 days straight, 110 degrees and all that stuff, and just keep a little perspective on it. But
For sure. Great company
really
today. Also
nice.
playing with Travis and Terry Dillard. Really appreciate
Uh-huh.
them having us out there this morning.
It was
It was
great. And a little
wonderful.
surprise too when we got there. A little.
I know we can't really, I don't know if we can let that one
No,
out
I'm
yet.
not
So
gonna.
we,
I'm
we're
not
going to
gonna
let that
say
one
it.
simmer. But it is amazing. Every time we go
Yeah.
out there, we get this little tidbit of information of some type of things going on that are going to be big news
I got a
eventually.
big one too. I've got like two now that I can't. I'm not gonna say anything, but so it's kind of cool being a part of that growth of that sport and seeing how seeing the things that are happening. A lot of cool things. One thing I don't even know if you know this one, but that one's gonna be kind of impactful.
Well, I was hoping that you were going to give us a little insight on what you thought about the horny toe today. I didn't get to throw it. I think you only threw it on a couple holes. What were your thoughts? If you kind of had any thoughts about that disc, the brand new horny toad? I think you threw the Delta, correct?
Delta 2, yeah. Feels just like a Artemis, feels just like the what's that other one? The harpoon
Harpoon,
in the hand, but as soon as you throw it, you realize it's something totally different. It's pretty beefy.
which
I
is what
think
they were going for.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. It's a nice, it's a nice disc. I'll have to put it to the test. I only threw a couple of times.
Now,
I
can you remember
flipped
what the
one
speeds
and
were
a
on that?
hyzer one.
Was that a 6? Would you remember the numbers on that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm
I know. I
assuming.
think it's a mid range, correct? It's on that harpoon flight path
Yeah,
along with the kind of a copperhead, a little more overstable copperhead is what Terry and I were discussing this morning.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. Another stab at a zone.
Well,
Sorry, I said the Z word.
you know, it's
My
funny.
bad.
His Travis actually said, he said the same thing the other day. He says, I think that's what we nailed it. And he's been, that's
Yeah,
everyone's diss that they want to get this, so it's no secret that that's the flight that you want, regardless
yeah,
of the name of the disc. But he feels like they've nailed it. He was very, very kind of happy with this one. And I know sometimes there's always some question marks about it, but they were pretty happy about this one.
yeah. Well, they left a trail of really cool discs in the wake of trying to create something similar to that. And in the other companies, I know we keep saying zone, but everybody has their version of that, kind of a slower approach disc. So yeah, they did a great job, and looking forward to throwing it. But yeah, I put one hyzer on it and one flick, and that's it's not enough. I need to take that one to Bear Branch.
Right. Well, let's get on to this week's last weekend's happening. Finally, the last tour event. It kind of all finally started to make a little bit of sense
We're
about
slow.
what was going
We're
on
a little
and
slow, yeah.
why there were points being awarded and why there was a top
Now we
20 and then why there was only a top 30 that played in the other one. And we just couldn't really figure it out. So as I kind of tee up the video for us, you want to kind of lead us into, we're going to go over the ladies first. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to kind of go over the format and I'll get us teed up with the everything else.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So you want me to explain the format?
Yeah, please.
That's funny. Bunch of guys play throughout the year and they try to accrue
Ladies as
points,
well.
and ladies, guys, I mean, that's in general term, but yeah, and try to get points. And those points really all they do, I think, if I'm correct, is they get you to the next round, or they help you to get to advance on the playoff weekend, which is only four rounds. And but the exciting part was especially day one when you're watching the cut line, and the Disc Golf Network is watching the cut line, and all the emphasis is on the pressure, and the pressure of trying to make it into to make that big money. And dang, man, big money everywhere, right? 40 G's. That's crazy in my lifetime. I was at the USDGC when Climo won. I told the story before, and they brought on a Harley $15,000 cash in a bag, and they threw it on the table in front of the whole gallery. And they thought that was a lot of money. I think that's great, and I did too. I was trying to win that money at that tournament. But now they got 40 G's, so I'm sure they're not going to be pulling up on a motorcycle on 40 G's. But yeah, big money, Missy. My goodness.
No, I know. And what do you think about the course they were on?
It's interesting at first. I thought I want to gauge it from the pro players and see what they say about it, and the podcast, the Brody podcast, and just see what people are talking about, because I thought it was a little new looking, but then it turns out it's a legendary kind of place. People know it and respect it. It just seemed kind of new to me, like new as in too many trees, little squirrely at times here and there. But I love courses like this. I like, me, I'm not a ball golf course kind of guy for viewing. I mean, I wouldn't mind watching it live or being there in person, but something doesn't translate on video. Whereas I think these in the trees with these tight lines, especially like these with the little mouth, and it just kind of gives you perspective.
I really found it interesting today, our conversation with both Travis and Terry in regards to this event. Terry and I kind of have the same feeling. I think you do as well. I enjoy to see a little struggle in golf, right? I don't like to see it just be birdie, 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 birdie. Whereas Travis, he kind of enjoys that success where it is that, everything's a birdie type of golf. But I kind of found that odd, that father and son of a disc golf manufacturing, like it both different styles of golf. But I really enjoy the more competitive side where there's trouble to be had, and you just can't just walk away with it. The tree's going to get in your way just as much as they're going to get in everybody else's.
Man, Missy she just threw that in, didn't she, from way back there? Missy did. She's like, I was talking to Travis as we were playing today, and I was thinking, he was talking about one of his playing partners getting in trouble a lot of times with the fast putt, with the blow by. And
Jordan.
I started thinking about it. I didn't know who you were talking about. I figured it was Jordan, but anyway, so I started thinking, really, I'm always going for it on a putt. I just changed the way I go for it. Like I'll, have that little hyzer bomb, like it's a little higher and it comes in on an angle. It's going to be right there sitting by the basket. And that's what I use. Situations like you got OB behind it or water or whatever, but it seems like I'm always going for it. Missy's kind of the same way. She'll kind of fire up a little hyzer bomb. And it saves strokes as opposed to like a Haley King where she's kind of firing at the basket, spinning it straight at the basket. I think there are times when you can just keep going for it. I have a friend who lays up. This is a Kansas City guy. He lays up anything outside of 30 every time. I'm like, what are you doing? That's the funnest part of disc golf, long putts, and also there's no pressure when you have the long putt.
I've enjoyed the longer putt because I realized how to slow it down. Like you just said, when you're not as close, you can still go for it, but you don't have to fly past it. He was really talking about Sinjin. Sinjin has a very strong putt, no matter where how far he is. And you and Yeti had a very good conversation in regards to the firmness of your putts and being able to control that. And sometimes
Ace.
you need to, sometimes you have to back off, right?
Uh-huh.
When you're close, you just can't give it 100%. You just got to give it.
Anthony Barella, he's another one like that. He fired that putt. Simon, you talked about him earlier, his putt. He fired that thing, and just knowing that they can make a 25, 30-foot comeback. And so they putt a little harder, and it cost them, on the course of a season. But I see Barella has totally fixed that. I mean, I saw him. He played great this year. I didn't see any of that. It seems like when he first burst on the scene, he would be just gunning at putts and then having these long comebacks. Here's Missy.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. I love
Hey, look at that angle. Thank you, Jomez.
There, right there.
Okay, see, this is the one I always say. We don't know what that is. We don't know how far that is. But that other one from the side, and then both together, it's pretty. They did good.
Beautiful. Well done. And it was kind of funny. I got to give Travis some information he didn't know with that CBS picking up the 3 tournaments next year, and Jomez doing it. It kind of makes me feel like they're going to be picking up their game. And I know they're not listening to us, but oftentimes after you and I have had conversations on the show, I'll see implementations of the show and how they've gotten better, and they'll use those things. And I'm not saying they're hearing it from us specifically, because they've got to be hearing it from others, or as good as they are, they're probably thinking it themselves,
Yeah, they're picking up on it.
They are. And that's just a beautiful shot right there. That to me is what makes me want to watch it, because I get to see the flight of the disc, right? How much wobble she had in it. And like you said, you also got to see from the side, which gives you that ability to know how far it is. I wish, though, they had some type of meter that would allow us to see it. The NFL has that, when it's in the red zone, how they mark things. Obviously the field's already marked.
It's a great idea, man. They do these overlays on NFL games, where it's just like seamless. You could do a green really easily. There's an IT guy out there that can do a green, a 30 circle, superimpose it live as you watch it.
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying? So you get a sense of where they are. Like, so if say you're on this hole, and this person's putting, you don't have to really know it's C1 or whatever. And the average viewer doesn't know what C1X is anyway. And I would guess, most even PDGA players don't know what C1X means. It's like, it's that thing that, it's a disc golf language. It's like Heiser, it's like, there's some certain things that I guess the audience, if we're going to grab one, we'll have to pick it up.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a big moment. That was a big moment.
Big moment. I mean, that made you could just see the tension in her body trying to pull it off that tree.
Well, and also just when you're playing hot, you get things like that. You get the little close miss as opposed to a nick in the woods, and that's what she has the ability to turn it on when she needs it. Obviously, isn't that 2 in a row with a tour championship? I think she won last year as well. She's won 70 grand off of that tournament.
Am I missing it?
I think it was
Tara not playing this event.
No, she was there. She struggled down the stretch. Yeah, she got the yips, not putting yips, but driving yips. She just started hitting trees, and you saw her body language go. I was watching it, and I was just like, wow. there it is. The human. There's the human, you know, and yeah, she just couldn't get off the box. She kept hitting trees and going into the woods.
Maybe it was the eclipse. Sometimes when there's a lot of force on the moon and the earth and the sun and all those things come in those unique positions, it definitely
Maybe she looked at the eclipse.
Maybe
that's why she couldn't hit a line. I did. I have to admit, I looked at the eclipse.
Oh, did you? I looked at it for 2 seconds because we couldn't figure out why the ground was so pretty the way it was the other day on hole 18. I tee off and I'm looking at the ground as I'm teeing off at 18 on Stonebridge, and I was like, "Oh wow, look at that formation on the bottom of that just looks great." And I let go of the disc, though terrible, obviously. And then Sinjin and I start talking about the patterns that we were looking at and seeing, and then we were looking at the trees, and that's when we looked at it. But I looked up at the trees and I was like, "Yeah, that's just the normal trees. I don't even know what that is." We walked the whole hole
before you figured it
totally forgot. We were like, "Oh my goodness." It's the eclipse. Oh, okay.
That's what it was. I thought it was the shrooms kicking in.
Oh no shrooms. No. We don't know that. No, not with the Dillards. No,
I know.
Yeah. No. Anyway, so yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, the weather that day was gorgeous as well, but it was amazing the way things looked during the eclipse, because we were out there for really the whole 45 minutes.
You were in it,
kind of going out. Yeah. So when you were throwing in between the woods and the sunlight and things like that, it was just amazing. It really was.
Mm-hmm. That's what, because I took some pictures. I saw the freaky shadows, and I thought, man, later I thought I should have gone for a walk. I should have just taken off, because I bet it was trippy. It was nice in my backyard, but yeah, you got to get out some days.
Oh yeah.
I think Owen was kind of done, and she struggled through that injury with her right throwing arm.
I tell you what, though, she's fairly consistent, always on that lead card, finishing in the top 4 is pretty amazing with that injury, like you said. I was a little surprised here that there wasn't a bigger crowd. This was one of those crowds that I thought would be much larger, especially with the purse.
Yeah, I thought so too. But hey, I think it has more to do with the hurting of the galleries, because it's so tight, But here we have the finale, so there should be a big crowd there. You're right.
What a beautiful shot there. I mean, the fairways we were shooting on today are about half as wide as that fairway, though, I will have to say.
That's true.
Oh, I think right there, Kat Mertz was struggling that last hole where yeah, she went bushes.
She ends up tying for second, though. $20,000.
I know. And she almost tried to give it away, though. I mean, she did her best.
Shot. Yeah.
She goes Woods first off the box, then short, then Woods again, and then pitches up. I like the fact that he had the raised basket on the last one too, as well.
Oh, that's so rare. That's I think that's just tiredness, Never see her miss like that.
What do you think? The elevation was making her tired at the end of the year?
No,
just
I think it's
all the tournaments.
She struggled through that injury, and she just, like, she was going to drop out. Where was that? The Throw Pink. She was not going to play it, and she toughed it out.
No, I just love how disc golf is. I mean,
right?
I really do. It just.
I hope it stays that way.
I agree.
It's people like Owen, people like Kat Mertz that make it like that. Have you watched any of her interviews, Kat Mertz?
I have not.
She is the female version of WWE disc golf style. It's hilarious. She goes into this WWE character. It's great.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Check Ella's new hairdo. I love it.
That is awesome. Oh, she's gonna be sticky. because there's no bath or shower anywhere near. So you're gonna have she's over here going bottle of water so I can get all the sticky stuff off me.
So okay, look at these two girls right there, Ella and Missy. Ella is dominant over Missy in terms of skill set, I think, except for the putting. But I'm talking about just getting around the course. And all she is a mental tweak away from being one of the most powerful, winningest disc golfers. I'm talking about Ella. Obviously, Missy's already there. There it is, 40 G's.
40 G's. What do you think about that trophy?
Let's talk about the trophy. I know the guy that made that. And he's a friend of mine on Facebook. I don't know if we've ever actually met. Tucker Bradley, amazing artist. And he's got commissions with his pieces there in that Charlotte area. And I saw his pictures of him creating it and stuff like that. And I saw the controversy. Somebody placed two Bud Light cans together, a red and a blue, whatever the marketing was that looked like it. And they compared it to those trophies. And then he was like, he got his feelings hurt. Obviously, you talk about an artist's art and you compare it to a beer can. It's a little deflating when you put your heart and soul into it, but I thought they were cool. I didn't really understand it. I was kind of looking for the disc and I saw a ball, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do with disc golf trophies? I mean, where do you go from there? I mean, I think the standard is Mace Man's glass blown stuff. And also obviously the glass blown, the DDO, the dynamic disc open with the glass trophies. I don't know. What'd you think of those?
Yeah, that one wasn't my favorite, but I didn't dislike it. I often think about where are the athletes going to store these things and put these things? Are they going to be able to put it out for people to see? And oftentimes really tall things are hard for someone to display. So I'm in the mindset that I like something that's a little more manageable, right? Mm-hmm. However, there's that one that has the big bell. I really like that one. I thought that was really cool. I think that the Nashville Music City Open, where they give you a guitar, I think that's a pretty neat one, right? Some
I like
things
that one.
I think there's some unique trophies. There was one that I saw that was which I wanted for my trophies, which was the bear. It was a bear, really tall, substantial carved wood bear. I forgot which tournament that was as well. So there are some that I really like. I mean, of course, I love Mace Man's glass trophies as well. I'm just really more about the size. I mean, I do realize that they like to make them substantially large, but I can only imagine that Macbeth does not have every trophy that he's ever won. Yeah,
well, we saw some today in the shop, and that gave me an idea. I mean, just take them to your shop, or your manufacturer, or if you got a bunch of big trophies like Macbeth would accrue, just take them to your manufacturer and let them display them, because they got room, they've got obviously, and they want to display your stuff. So,
and most of them probably paid for it as well. So if you look at the fact that your manufacturer at that level has probably paid for your entry fee, doubled your purse and what you won, plus you're probably on a little salary, and plus they're feeding you, so
yeah. Isn't that what we were looking at? Trophies. They were showing me various trophies from
over by the drinks.
The touring players who that to me, that's the best idea right there. You got a trophy wall or a trophy room,
I love what Terry had done. I'm gonna go ahead and while you talk here in a second and get us ready for the men's. But I love what Terry did for all of his players, where he had disc with all of their likenesses on them. I thought that was really weird. The Fajakis one that we saw today and the Mesa. I was like, man, that really is a great idea. I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, they were trippy.
So what'd you think about the men's while I tee this up?
Let's see. I think what happened. We had one Ricky Wysocki put a whipping on it, pretty much is what happened.
Yeah, on the back nine, he was up by one, I believe.
Yeah. He had his raptor legs going.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Kyle
And of
Klein,
course-
though, closed the gap and almost tied it up. And in the process, he wins $52,000 in October. The most money ever by a disc golfer in 1 month.
And who won that one?
That was Kyle Klein.
I know. You always want to say Calvin Klein. I know. It's
Kyle
it's
Klein.
a hard night not to say it.
Kyle Klein. That was Kyle Klein's October. So he wins the USDGC, and then he wins second at the Tour Championship, which nets him $52,000 for October. So he got a car, a nice one for October for playing disc golf. That was a pretty cool stat somebody threw up there. I think it was Joe Mez.
It would be nice to see if they can make that for 10 months, right? If you made 50 grand for 10 months.
Yeah.
That'd be I think that would bring the kids out of the woodworks. That's for sure. I think they were already starting to see it a little bit. It's always nice to get a little insight from someone who's basically the general manager of a team, to kind of get an idea of what's going on in the disc golf world as far as the pro tours concerned. I mean, what are your thoughts on it, where it's headed right now?
Oh man, I loved the format, especially early in this competition. The first day, first couple of rounds, the cuts. It was really, to me, it was like, it gave me ideas. It's like, well, why do you need a whole tour to create this excitement? Why don't you just have a tournament that has that format, the cut format, where you go bang, bang, you're gone, bang, bang, you're gone. And then the audience is just left with, say, 8 or 6, 4 players or whatever for the last round, kind of like we did with match play. Their elimination. So why not have a weekend tournament, a 4-round tournament that is cuts?
You're getting closer to being golf every single day, because that's what they had, that cut line, right, going into the weekend.
But I'm talking about even more cut. Like drastic. It puts the pressure on, and it forces the coverage to spectate people that are challenged to try to make it. And which is really exciting for the viewer, because
I loved it, to be honest with you.
Over and over.
What I found about this one this weekend is the things that I did watch the most. It was guys who were trying to make a move and who would go for a shot that they typically would not.
Yeah.
Right. That just made it fun. And then, the announcers being able to build up that suspense, like, oh, he's going to have this right now if he wants to have any chance of making it. I like the drama that provides.
And that's what I'm saying. We could have this on a weekend. You wouldn't have to, we could do, I'm not saying change the whole way they do tournaments, but I mean, you don't have to have a tour championship to create that excitement. You could do it with just have cut weekend, okay, here we are, cut weekend, and then all that excitement is just repeatable, instead of just one tournament at the end of the year. You see what I'm saying? I think it's a valid format,
for sure.
Tweak it a little bit, and then also creates more, power for your video team, like, because the field is smaller. The final round. Yeah.
Oh, look at that thing go.
That was brutal right there.
Brutal. I mean, you throw it 375 feet, pipe it through the woods, hit short, hit a tree, and roll all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sounds like my round, not except for the 375 feet part.
All about the greens. So what do you think of what they've done out there at Lone Star with the greens? Do they have good greens? Let's think about the greens out there.
Okay, so I think on hole 1 they do. because you've got the water to the right.
Excellent green. Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think hole 2 is probably the best green that they have because that's your raised basket.
Yeah.
Okay.
3.
I think 3 is another great one. Somewhat, some people may say just a tad bit unfair, but if you bail out right, you're fine. If you try to go left at that basket, you're in trouble. Although now they built a little wall up, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
4. Well, that's going over the water, right? 4 back over the water. So that tee shot's hard. And then you got that tree right there in the front. And they did put a little OB to the left as well. So that's not a bad one. 5 is probably the easiest because you're going back towards the front. Right. You're over there by the flagpole up in the front. 6 I love because that's that tucked in short part. No, 6 is the one that is surrounded by the driveway, right?
No, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's one of the better ones.
7, that's a little more wide open, a little bit OB on the backside, but not much that you have to worry about. So that's not really much. 8, I like. That's that short par 3 where you have the low hanging tree and you have the pine to the left. We all birdied it on the final time today.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a throwaway hole.
Yeah, and
I
then
mean,
9,
it is guarded somewhat, but yeah, it's just kind of like a little. We need a hole, so let's put this here.
Yeah, and if you want to make that any tighter, they could shorten that up then in the back a little bit, not let you go as far, and round it
True.
off a little bit. I think that may, like Travis went long both times. Well, second time he didn't, but the first time he did, he went really long on that. So that could be done a little bit better. I don't mind 9, which is 18 as well, with the pylons around it. I understand, what they're trying to do as far as give you something to shoot around. I kind of like that a little bit. I get the idea. So let's say I think that at least 5, if not 6 of the holes have some interesting putting dynamics to the green.
Yeah,
I would say. But where they're getting you is definitely, narrowing the gaps in the fairways, right?
yeah, they're forcing you to throw for position. It's not just go and throw as hard as you can. There's not one hole out there that you throw as hard as you can, really. Everything's touch.
Yeah, true. Everything's placement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a lefty friendly hole. That's not a lefty friendly course at all.
You're right. You're right. And I'm not a very good not lefty thrower. I'm terrible at not being lefty.
Let's move on up to the final hole. I love this one. I mean, those
this
trees
is
like
a good
that.
example. A good example of one that I like. Relatable. That's what I was talking to Travis about. It's like I just love a hole that I can relate to. That gap. Just seeing them hit the gap. That's something that would be your nemesis. Not you, but we all know that's our nemesis. Hitting that first line, that first tree or whatever, and then just ruining your round.
And especially being 830, so you need to get at least a little distance being a par 4, because if you're not getting it out 300, even that's short on this course. I mean, I'm already looking at this par 4's going to be my birdie. A 4 on this hole is a birdie for me at that distance with those trees up in the front, because I'm flicking it right there because that's going to be my best opportunity to make sure that I can dial it in. And even if I get 275, 300, I don't know if I'm back hanging anything 500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all placement.
I've got a good teaser for the secret that we have now.
Okay.
This person that we're privileged to see at the shop
did you see that?
Yeah.
What was he doing? When he stepped into that flick?
Look where it fell, right? It fell right out into where he could manage it,
Oh, that's not OB. I thought that was OB past that time.
It hits the tree. It hits the tree. But I don't think there was a line on the tree line there. But it did hit the tree and fell back towards the grass somehow.
You could just tell by the way when he stepped into that it was going dead and see. That's OB, is it not? Oh,
the cool teaser
that
I have, that I got information from Travis, is that this is the first touring player who approached them about their plastic, and it wasn't about the deal. It was about he loved the plastic.
Oh, I know who it is.
And Travis said, "Yeah, I'm not teasing it for you. I'm just
Oh,
saying."
okay. Yeah.
I thought the information was cool. It was good enough. You don't need to know who it is. The player approached Travis because of the plastic, because of the molds, because of the company. And it's the first time, they've really had that happen, Yeah, that was brutal. And that was it.
Yep. What are you doing, Calvin? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was interesting to see Travis's face when he brought that up. I really like that. Success that we've been able to witness with them, and the growth has been an amazing thing. But we've seen the struggles as well when it wasn't going as well as it is right now. And so it's so proud to see that look on Travis's face. He seemed like it was a kid in a candy store, like it was Christmas. You could just he was really happy.
Well, and a little perspective, he was the one that pretty much willed all this to happen, because it wasn't all going to happen, or at least from my perspective. I don't have any inside scoop on that.
Well, I've had an opportunity to talk to Travis in depth now about it, and it was him and St. John, actually.
Okay, good.
They both just wanted to make a disc for themselves to go out and throw. They pestered Terry and pestered him, and they happened to know somebody who made molds, and they had a little trade with the gentleman for doing business. So the gentleman made them their first mold, and that is the mold in which they put in your hand, my friend. Where Travis seeked you out. You also didn't realize that either, that Travis seeked you out to put that disc in your hand, and look where it has led. And I'm not saying that we are the reason, but I will say that we are a catalyst,
right,
of how it kind of got started into the ether. And and it went from there. I mean, they did our tournament, our first match play tournament. We had their first disc. We bought their first disc that they've ever made. And now they've got a line of 90 discs and 6 molds and glow and just, basket. How about now they got a basket, a prototype basket that they're working on that we got to see at the shop again today. Just, it's like a rocket, just hold on. Here we go.
Right. Yeah. And that's disc golf taking off. Amazing. I think that they kind of rider just this last week, and it was the last one of the day for me. So I was we were just talking on the way. He lived over Jersey Village kind of area, and I brought up disc golf, and he's like, "Oh, you play disc golf?" I was like, yeah. And so I realized he was addicted, and we started talking. That's like, he's like, his favorite player, it's a female, close connections with Lone Star. What do you think? Who do you think it would be?
Lisa
Fajakis. Actually, no. Actually, I'm wrong. It was Jennifer Allen, and so I was able to tell him, "Hey, we got to interview her," and she's a nurse, right? Is my memory serving right? She's a nurse,
correct?
And that's what this guy was. He was a travel nurse. So he was like, wow, he didn't even know she was a nurse. So anyway, we might see Christopher. That's his name. We might see him out. He was supposed to meet up this last week. I couldn't make it, but anyway.
I almost got to play with Ricky the last time he was in town for the Texas State Championship. I ended up playing with his caddy, who was also his manager. That was in just that picture just a second ago. But yeah, that would have been a whole lot of fun to be able to play with Ricky, because he went out there to that Lone Star event that you were at as well. I think you ended up playing with Yeti, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You played with Yeti, and I ended up playing with Emerson for the first time as well. Yeah, the guy back here.
Yeah.
That guy. That was the guy who was on our card. Nice guy as well. It's good to see Ricky win. I like Ricky. It's kind of funny. I don't really have a favorite disc golfer? I mean, do you happen to have one?
I like Simon a lot. I mean, he's great for the sport. Great vibe when you look at him, you know, he's just a good representer of the sport. And I like his kind of like just the way he approaches the game, you know. I like Bradley Williams, and especially like Bradley Williams' turnaround over this past couple of years. He went from being kind of a bad guy to somebody really fun to watch and really informative. And I think he's realized his role in the sport and his power that he has in the sport. So I like Bradley Williams. I like to watch him. I think he's somebody you should emulate. His putt, he's just technically perfect, you know, other than Macbeth. I don't think there's anybody that has better mechanics than Bradley Williams. He'll be around for a long time.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I like Simon because I like his videos. He does a really good job with them. He's just kind of fun to watch. I can't say I really have a favorite disc golfer. I ended up really enjoying Tatar this year, and I know I was late to the party, but it was just really fun to watch someone like that. And then I end up also kind of, to be honest with you, really, in a weird way, following Owen. I mean, the story of being injured, but always, you know, being in the top four, that flick that she has, which reminds me of Jake's flip, you know, that overly just and Heiser flip that she does. So,
yeah.
I think that I really started kind of watching to see where she was on the card and where she was in her placement. So I found myself, I guess, kind of being a fan for the first time of a player, which, you know, in disc golf for me, that was kind of odd because I'm a little later to the party than you are.
That's a good one, though. That's Owen is definitely on a lot of people's top 3, probably, as far as fandom. If you're gonna, you know, make fans or gather fans, and that would be it. Own. I mean, how can you not? You know, she pretty much makes it seem like everybody loves each other, and which is great. We need that. We need more of those.
Okay, I have a question. And of course, I cannot find the thing that I saved today, but it was a music question because Elizabeth and I were kind of giggling today when I was trying to come up with the question. I didn't actually make a backdrop for it, but we were talking about, I asked her, I said, what do you think one of Hemi's favorite bands is? So I can kind of do a little deep dive and see if I can get a question or two from him on it. And who do you think that she picked?
The Cure?
Nope. We have not talked about them.
The Church.
No, we've talked about the Church.
Oh, U2.
No.
Okay.
Someone you really like. Think about somebody you really, really like.
Oh, okay. So she got close.
Yeah, I think she nailed it.
Radiohead.
No, I think she nailed it. We've talked about Radiohead.
You think she nailed it? Talk.
Wilco.
Wilco is my go-to. Yeah, it's one of my go-tos. It's like Cocteau Twins. It's like when I get tired of music, I go back to Wilco. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I would say that's my top band. You know, it's just kind of, I have days with them. Have you listened to them? Some people don't dig
with
it.
You. Remember, you played it for me in the car in our drive. And here's a question that I really had for you. Do you not dislike when anyone tries to make these are their 10 best songs, or who's the best band? You know, to me, it's so subjective, right? I think in music and art, and almost in sports as well, I can't stand it when they go, oh, who's the best basketball player? And then you try to compare someone 50 years apart, right? You've never seen they've never seen, you don't know, you know what I'm saying? So I never really cared for those types of lists. And I was going to get your thought on that as well.
Oh, same. It's just clickbait, the listicles, that's what that is. Like articles it's basically just a list. And those are everywhere. Yeah, I'm not into that. I don't like the debate. Because first of all, if you don't think Allen Iverson is not the greatest basketball player that ever lived, then
yeah. What have you been watching?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't know anything.
It's
so
AI.
let's get back to
the guy's
Wilco.
like 4 foot tall. I mean, come on.
So, what do you like about Wilco? And a song that you kind of gravitate towards?
I love his ability to write abstract, off the top of his head lyrics that are basically poetry, that you don't get hit over the head with a meaning or a message, even though the message comes becomes more personal because he didn't beat you over the head with it, or just give you a line that you could understand. What does that mean? Like it makes me sort of question things, and I'll have to Google lyrics sometimes. And I mean, I don't do it with his material all the time. Jeff Tweedy is his name. He's the brains behind Wilco, and the main songwriter. But sometimes it's so poetic that I have to just pull up the lyrics and look at it. And even when I have the lyrics in front of me, like a poem, like a good poem, the meaning doesn't come to you immediately. It comes from the music and from the repetition of it, so I guess that's why I like Wilco. And also he has a really nice tone to his voice. It reminds me of John Lennon, and kind of a country twang version of John Lennon. And they're just an anomaly. I mean, they sell out arenas, and it's just this kind of quirky music. There's Jeff Tweedy. That's his son on the left, who's the drummer. He took over as the drummer, which I think is great. If you can have a rock band with your son in it, that's pretty ideal lifestyle.
It's kind of amazing.
But
do you have a song? Can you have a go-to song that you like that they sing?
First of all, the other thing I like about Wilco is he has kind of a spiritual message to his stuff, but it's not kind of like in the U2 ways, sort of the message is kind of hidden by the artsiness of it. It's so the song that really stands out to me is called Chrome, and it's about the devil. It's about the devil's not red, he's chrome. And so it's the devil's reflective of ourselves, but that's just something that I made up. If Jeff Tweedy was in the room, he'd probably say there's a totally different meaning. And that's a perfect example of why I like Wilco. Poetry in song, essentially.
Now, do you find that you're pretty balanced on whether you like something for its lyrical content versus its musical drive, or is it normally you lyrically driven to a song?
Definitely the lyrics are kind of like just a byproduct of the vibe I get from it. Like a lot of the songs, like we talked about Cocteau Twins, I have no idea what she's saying. I don't care. It's the vibe I get when I listen to it. And that's kind of how I am with all music. And then every once in a while, I'll go, well, what was he saying there? And then I'll look it up, or I'll pay a little more attention to it, and I'll get the lyric. So I'm not really all that into the lyrics. I think
that's funny you said that, because Clan of Zymox was like that for me as well.
Yeah.
Pet Shop Boys, not Pet Shop Boys, but Yaz is another band. Like you said, it's the mood in which they set. And Radiohead, oftentimes I have a hard time understanding what York is saying. But just the music just captures the moment, right? So I find
So
that
the song is called Hell is Chrome. So when the devil came, he was not red, he was chrome. And he said, come with me, you must go. So I went where everything was clean, so precise and towering. He's talking about hell. I was welcomed with open arms. I received so much help in every way, and I felt no fear. I felt no fear. The air was crisp like a sunny late winter days, springtime yawning high in the haze, and I felt like I belonged. Come with me, come with me. So it's it's a seduction song, really. You know, hell is chrome because it reflects us and we're attracted to ourselves.
can you hear that?
Are you playing the song?
Oh, maybe you can't hear it yet. So let me hold on. Can you hear it or no?
Not
okay.
hearing it yet.
I think it's because I'm not sharing it the correct way. Let me stop this real quick.
Maybe coming through on the live. I just can't hear it on my. Talk about Cocktail Twins. I have no idea what she's saying. I don't care.
Oh, I see what I've done now. What am I doing, Christopher? All right, let's see. Take that, put that there, put that there. That's fine. All right, see if I can get us back on right here. Go to share screen. No, go to basic. There we go. Can you hear it now?
I do not.
No? Wow.
Not coming through.
Hold on, see if I can. Oh. How about now?
There you go.
Seen them live?
Yeah. I'd love to see them live.
I was welcome with open arms.
That sound like Lennon a little bit?
I was seeing so much help in every way. And I felt no fear.
In the mid-90s, like 96, when they came out.
This one came out.
I don't want to get us shut down. We'll get shut down. Play.
Oh yeah, you're right. Playing Wilco.
Huh?
They'll shut us down.
Yeah, they'll take us off.
All the money
I did learn though, as
of
long as that we're making a critique of the video, then they will not. It's only that if you just post it with no other sound to it, that's what they're looking for.
Uh-huh.
So that's what has allowed us to play all those videos from the golf tournaments.
This was off an album called A Ghost is Born, which is one of my favorite. There's another take off of this album called Theologians, which I think is a great word to start a song. Theologians. Anyway, he's just a clever guy with a great band, a great big heart, and unique rock and roll.
Right on. Well, next week, then we're going to have to get in that talk. That was the other band.
Yeah.
I know you have a soft spot in your heart for them.
Yeah, I like me some talk.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for tonight. Anything else from you, sir?
Ghost Rose.
go stroke. They need a lot of help. I'll tell
Hey,
you
they
right
were
now.
up 4. They were up 4 in the second.
Yeah. Well,
So it looked good. Looked
call
like
me
they're
after
back on track.
9. Right. Call me after
Yeah.
the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Altuve is like, he's number 2 all time home runs postseason.
Isn't that amazing that I mean, they're comparing the Astros run to the Yankees of the 20s. Because you think about 7 years in a row, they have been to the American League Championship. And then now that 7 years, they've been to the World Series 3 times.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought that ever happened to my baseball team growing up in the 70s in Houston, Texas, right? Because it was always the Dodgers and the Yankees, or Cincinnati, right? The 70s Cincinnati. And then it was Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees.
Dodgers.
And now to see it, Ron Say, Steve Garvey, that whole team that they had back there. I don't know if you remember that Dodgers team or not, but I just remember them playing against the Yankees all the time. So it's just amazing that the Astros are mentioned in that breath, right?
Mhm.
Because we don't have it in football.
No.
Barely have it in basketball. At least we've got at least a championship, or 2, so we can at least say we've got them. But baseball, we can hang our hat on now. Go Stros, baby.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go.
All right. We're going to get down and throw tomorrow. You're going to take a break.
I think I'm going to take a break.
All righty.
Got some work.
Copy that.
Some work other than driving work.
Oh,
So, yeah. Anyway.
that means stuff at the house you got to get taken care of. I know what that means.
No, actually, this is actually work. I got to drive downtown and go bid on some stuff.
Oh, nice. Getting back to doing a little art stuff.
Thing, yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. Well, let me key up old Mikey, because we can't say goodnight without Mr. Mike. Let's see if I can get to him over here pretty quick. Here we go. All right, him. Till next week, my friend. We'll see you. Go throw something in the air. Play disc golf.
Just fling it, bro.
Fling it, bro. Peace, y'all. We go. We have a wiener. That is funny, but it's funny if you fell. Dang it. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was hoping you'd fall, though. Yeah, I mean, it's not real deep. You can stand up there. I said it's not real deep. You can stand up there. Not like you're gonna drown. I think I want to see how far you can just bring it up on shore. All the way. Come to me. All the way. Come on, you can do it. Come fast as you go. Come on. Come on.
It's okay. It's alright. It's okay to shine your light. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Oh, I just love that. It's awesome. Good night, folks. Sign up. Southern Star Duo.